My husband installed spy cameras in our home and shared the footage online. I threw him out and never looked back. 3 years later, he's stalking me across the country, pleading for another chance. Even in the first week of dating, I hated every little thing my husband did. He was obnoxious, unkind, and painfully unfunny. One time, he hacked into my email and canceled a job interview for my dream job. And when I called my mom to tell her what happened, she just said, "Okay, did you thank him for what he did?" You see, I come from a family of arranged marriages. Divorce is basically equated to murder. So in their eyes, my husband could do no wrong. And because he knew I was completely alone and forced to be with him no matter what, he took full advantage of me. He refused to ever throw anything into the trash because that was a woman's job. I wasn't allowed to wear clothes or listen to music that he didn't approve of. And for the most part, I was able to tolerate this since it was nothing I didn't expect anyway. But there was one part of his routine that I hated the most. Every weekend, he'd take a flight to Arizona and do snow with his friends. He swore he wasn't addicted. But one day I logged onto my bank account to see that he had completely drained half of my savings account. I wasn't even angry, just extremely upset, because I knew that if I even tried to talk to anyone about this, they would take a side. For years, my life was filled with threatening texts about collecting debt, my husband's constant beachiness from withdrawal, and random spurts of violence. I practically walked around looking like a zombie every day. And it wasn't until 2 years later that something actually changed, because that's when my grandmother came over. We had her necklace stored on her mantelpiece. It was one that my late grandfather gave to her, and it reminded her of him while he was in the Soviet War. Not to mention it was worth thousands. So when we couldn't find it, adrenaline filled my body. That's when my sorry excuse for a husband came home. Honey, have you seen my grandmother's necklace?" I asked with urgency. He plastered a boyish half smile on his face. You could say that. That's when my grandmother ran down the stairs. She wasn't as patient as me. "You idiot. Where did you put my necklace?" His face went red like he had been caught. "I misplaced it." I immediately knew he had sold it for more blow, but I didn't want to worry my grandmother, so I went along with his lie. But before I could say anything, my grandmother slapped him. "My family put you with a beautiful wife house, and this is how you repay us. Get out of my effing face." He sheepishly walked out the door with his shoulders slightly slumped. And even though I felt bad for my grandmother, I couldn't help but smile, because I knew it was finally over. After 10 years, I could finally get my life back. The divorce process was long and hefty. He tried multiple times to win me back with cheap flowers and chocolate, despite me being lactose intolerant. Not to mention his parents and siblings constantly starting arguments with my parents about how this was all my fault for not being a better wife. But this time, for once, everyone was taking my side, and they ignored them. I started wearing skirts that weren't all the way down to my ankles. I wore my hair untied, letting my natural curls flow. I talked to strangers again. I felt like a princess. So I was changing into my silky VS pink pajama set when it happened. In the corner of my eye, inside the digital alarm clock, I saw a little red light. Well, I had just seen a TikTok video about hidden cameras, so my heart dropped. I immediately went over to investigate and smashed the entire thing on the floor. And amidst the debris, there it was, a little camera. My blood went cold. I instinctively threw it out the window before clutching a pillow and crying my eyes out. That sick man had been watching me every single day for the past 6 months. A sickly feeling washed over me, and the memories of our relationship all came crashing down. Every time he jokingly pinched me for talking to a man. Every time he threw out my clothes because they were too revealing. For the first time, I realized I didn't deserve it. Culture or not, I should be loved in a marriage. Adored, appreciated. Anger crept into every inch of my skin. For the first time, I didn't just hate my ex-husband. I wanted him dead. I didn't sleep that night. How could I? Every shadow in my room looked like him watching me. Every creak in the floorboard sounded like footsteps. I kept thinking about all the nights I'd changed clothes, all the times I'd cried alone in my room, all the private moments that weren't private at all. The violation felt like a physical weight crushing my chest. The next morning, I carefully collected all the broken pieces of the clock and put them in a shoebox. I wasn't sure what to do with them yet, but something told me I should keep the evidence. I shoved the box in the back of my closet under some winter sweaters. I didn't tell anyone what I'd found. Not my parents, not even my grandmother. I wasn't sure who to trust anymore. For the next week, I barely slept. I kept all the lights on in my apartment and checked under the bed every night like a scared kid. I started showering with the bathroom door locked and windows taped over with paper. I went through every single object in my apartment. Lamps, picture frames, outlets, smoke detectors, looking for more hidden cameras. I didn't